Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the January 7, 2020 meeting of the Orangetown Plan and Zoning Commission. I am Commissioner Ozzie Parenti. Let's begin tonight, as we usually do, with having an introduction. Those seated at the table, please.
Jack Demerjen, Assistant Planning and Zoning Enforcement.
Paul Kaplan.
Judy Smith.
Paul Denise, zoning administrator and enforcement officer.
All right, so we have a quorum. We're missing Commissioner Cornell. He had another engagement tonight. And obviously,
Commissioner to be named later.
Commissioner to be named later with Ralph out. So let's get started with our agenda.
All right.
I know it's a skinny crowd, but we'll get going anyway.
We'll do our best.
Yeah. All right, first item of business is is a review of the minutes from the November 19th, 2019 meeting. Has everybody had a chance to look those over?
Yeah.
I wasn't in attendance at meeting.
So, the only issue I had was the first page. There's got to be a better way to say, Commissioner Smith reiterates how the property owner has accomplished very few requirements needed to proceed with the altercations of the property.
I don't think I said anything like that.
No, so I think altercations should probably be alterations. And the commissioner reiterates how the property owner has accomplished probably the requirements needed to proceed, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Very good.
I was
read
trying to-
this, I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah.
That was a little messy.
Yeah.
I did pick up on one typo. On page 2, paragraph 5, the paragraph begins Commissioner Smith. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 or 6 lines down. It says he also about septic on the property. We're missing a word there. He also asks about septic on the property. Is that?
That was that for that
Probably just
large,
missing a word.
yeah, the large barn.
Yeah, probably just asks.
Okay, you might want to correct that. I didn't pick up on anything else, and like I said, I wasn't here, so.
Yeah, the rest of it was fine,
All right,
for me anyhow.
Judy? you
Well,
okay?
I'm just thinking, should it all be in past tense?
You mean for future,
Mm-hmm.
future reference? Can we do that? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what we're used to.
That's what we're
I don't
used
know
to.
that this is necessarily wrong,
Sounds
but,
like it's live.
but,
When Pellegrino comes to the stand.
it's more action-packed that way, though.
It is.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, why don't we,
Smith
why don't
calls
we,
the applicant to the stand.
why don't we keep doing it the way we've been doing it?
Okay.
But that, it looked fine to me. All right, so if everybody's all set.
Well, we don't have a quorum to vote because
Well,
Kevin,
but we have a quorum for the meeting, though,
Yes.
But
Right.
you're abstaining for the,
and I'll abstain.
so that's 2 votes. So we
but-
probably need Kevin,
Do
can
we?
you vote in it now or wait till
I
he's
think
back?
you can still vote on it.
Because I think
Okay.
we have a quorum for business.
You have a quorum for
But it's
business,
2
yes.
out of 3,
Yes, it's a majority.
I think, but I could be wrong on that.
No,
Let's give it a
that's
shot.
my reading too.
okay. Well, I'll move that we accept the, you ready for a motion?
Yes, I
Okay,
am.
good. I'll move that we accept the minutes of the November 19th, 2019 meeting as amended.
All right, we have a motion to accept the minutes with the amendments discussed. All those in
I
favor?
will second that motion.
I'm sorry.
That's quite all right. In the
I'm a little out of
present tense.
practice. I missed a meeting, and then we had a couple cancellations. I'm glad you're keeping an eye out. We have a second.
Yes, sir.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's 2, and I abstain, having not attended that meeting. All right, next item is old business. Anything?
The hotel opened.
Paul, I just, I put in my file that, a copy of that email from Mr. Velez.
Yes,
Is that under control?
it was under control, but he's complaining about a new instance of,
Can you maybe
The deposit.
enlighten the other commissioners as to, just generally? Without all the details.
There, Mr. Velez is the rear of his property,
Where's this?
I forget his street, his property backs up to another property on Garden Road. And the neighbor deposited horse manure in the wetlands, which happened to be on his property. I made an inspection there, it was probably deposited at least 10 months prior to me seeing it. It was about a wheelbarrow full or so. I made a determination initially that it's best to keep it there. You know, it had already broken down, decomposed. Also was in contact with the state. About 3 weeks ago, he lodged another complaint with regard to the depositing of manure on the neighbor's property, which is still wetlands.
New manure or?
New manure.
Oh, okay.
So.
So is this under control or something we need to pay? We
Well,
need to pay attention
it's
to,
an
or-
ongoing thing, a notice has to go out,
All right, so you're working on that?
yes.
All right. Anything else under old?
It probably would have been done today, but Tammy's been out of the office today, so,
All right.
but it will be done tomorrow.
Anything else under old business? Okay, next item on the agenda is new business. Do we have anything to? No? All right, I know Paul's got a few things he wants to cover under his report, so we'll skip right to that. Item number 4, report of the zoning enforcement officer.
Yeah, we have a pending site plan application, and as you know, the property was deficient in conforming to a number of issues with regard to filling the temporary excavation permit that was issued. The
This is
process.
131
131
Boston
Boston
Post
Post Road. The process has been a little bit of a long one, but a lot of information is coming in slowly. And as a matter of fact, we received revised plans today. So hopefully, things will be in order by the time we hear it at our next meeting.
Can you,
No, this is.
This is the
Former
old
bedding
former
barn.
bedding barn.
can you speak to any of the corrections that have occurred since the
Yeah,
original?
he posted a $5,000 cash bond. He did provide a manifest with the testing of the materials that were deposited. He did submit a wetlands application. There were a few other items that he also did. Came in with revised plans, because I've only had a brief moment to review them, but I've been pushing for a 2-to-1 slope in the back, or a retaining wall if it's steeper than that. He provided a 2-to-1 slope. So, there are a few outstanding issues, such as the retaining wall along the along the eastern side of the property, where Pep Boys is.
Yeah.
The building inspector was not contacted to make initial inspections, so there's some back and forth between the property owners, engineer, and the town engineer. That has not been resolved yet. Hopefully it will be by the time it appears before you. And it's going before wetlands next Tuesday night.
Yeah, so that matter won't be on our agenda until they have the wetlands permit
That's correct.
and until they've
Remediated.
satisfied
Yes.
you on the cease and desist order.
I'm gonna say they're 80 to 90% right now.
Okay, but they may be further along or not that far along, depending on your review of what they submitted.
That's correct.
Today.
And the retaining wall, even though it has to be resolved prior to an approval.
Okay.
Now, will wetlands have all the information regarding?
They have as much information
They
as we
do,
have
okay.
to this point. You know, I may write them a brief memorandum. I was gonna submit a letter if the rear way to stabilize that fill didn't meet with my satisfaction of the town engineers. They were gonna receive a letter, but that's ongoing next Tuesday night. So I'm gonna continue to review the documents that he gave me today. And then, I'll either sign off or I'll write a letter of comment with concerns.
All right. Paul, I see in our package that you've sent out the notices required with respect to the petition to amend the zoning map to change the Lowe's property.
Yes, there's a petition
industrial.
to amend the Lowe's property and change it from commercial C1 to light industrial 1, and that property is within 500 feet of an adjacent municipality, which requires us to contact the regional planning agencies and give them 35 days to review it.
Are you representing why is this submitted by Paul Kaplan?
That's another Paul Kaplan.
Oh, all right.
Not as good an attorney.
So this is on our initiative?
No, it's on Mr. Paul Kaplan's initiative.
Oh, all right, okay.
Paul
He's-
Kaplan's and Associates, I believe it is.
All right.
And so, the regional planning agencies were contacted. We also are required to contact the Long Island Sound Division of DEEP. And then there's also a state statute that says that if there's a zone change or a project which is going to impact the traffic, in an adjacent municipality, they should be contacted too. Not that I'm saying that this proposal is gonna affect that, but I always like to double check. And it's just a matter of sending out a letter to West Haven saying, we have this application,
Right.
if you wanna comment on it. Instead of waiting till the hearing and all of a
And then
sudden,
finding out that you needed it.
we should have contacted West Haven, so.
Good.
Doesn't one property line of that parcel already abut an LI zone?
Yes, it does.
So we're likely to hear that on February 18th?
Second meeting
Second
in
meeting in February?
February.
Okay, good.
I don't know if it's new, old, or report, but I just recalled that the land that the train station was to go on had been sold. So I don't know where that leaves us from a zoning standpoint.
Yeah,
If we-
I know, I'm aware it's been sold too.
And
So-
the sale's closed, or there was
It's on the
a
land
contract to
records.
buy
Yeah,
it?
yes.
Was it-
Does it change our position at all?
I couldn't answer that, I don't know. I don't know.
We gave an
but-
extension,
Yeah, when's that extension?
I think
to?
September.
I think so, yes.
We did a 1 year, I think.
Well, whoever, I think was Yale acquired the property, right?
Mhm.
Is that was, and if they acquired the property, they acquired it together with that,
Whatever.
that right.
Attached to the property.
Right.
Nice.
Well, so your question is?
Well, I mean, do we want to pull the Todd district off the zoning maps? Knowing full well that this right stays with that parcel, that approval, until the expiration.
Why wouldn't we take that one?
I don't know, I think that we should.
I mean, the approval goes away if we don't extend it. So it's not even, I don't know,
You know, you might even ask Vinnie that if, because the approval was issued to another entity,
yeah.
if it's even transferable.
Well, I thought that was a right that,
I think
Sounds
it is.
like it should be. I would
Yeah.
ask
Yeah.
Vinnie, especially since we're gonna ask him if can we, is there a problem about taking Todd away?
well.
Right.
Well, that's another issue.
That's a different issue. I mean, we need to amend the regulations to delete the section on Todd, and we need to amend the zoning map accordingly. So I think what we probably should do, we might as well, let's figure out how to properly do that at this
Right.
point. And get it on our agenda.
I mean, if we're doing other public hearings on, amendments and zone changes, then we might as well
I mean,
put
I
that
think
on.
I think the consensus is probably to return that
To lo-
to LI2, right?
Probably too.
I mean, whatever we did, and to the extent that.
The funding
that-
wasn't
that
there.
continues, no, I mean, to the extent that approval continues.
For that
so-
one- for that
so
one
be it.
property
Not
owner.
that it, not that any, I mean, like we said before, that the train doesn't stop here. So it's not gonna, it's not gonna happen.
Although, I will
But
say
you
that
never know.
the state had told us for years that it was gonna stop here.
Yeah.
So should we believe,
Right.
should we believe them that it's not gonna stop here? Yeah, but I don't think they have the funding and won't have it for a foreseeable future. So
So-
what are we doing?
I think,
So- so
can
the-
always go back on down the road if things change, but I
Right.
think to protect the town, we might want to pull it off.
Yeah.
So the consensus is that, let's go back to where we were before we approved the amendment.
Okay, I can put it on the agenda, next agenda.
Yeah.
You can discuss it.
Yeah,
Well, let's talk to Vinnie and make sure
Okay.
we
I'll
get
talk-
that,
I'll try to
done-
see him tomorrow morning on
done
it.
the right way.
Mhm.
I noticed that one of the zoning violations was the illegal use of a dwelling unit as an air bed and breakfast. Is
Yeah.
that the first one you've had like that?
No,
or-
we've had about 4.
And
The problem is this, is that when you go up on Airbnb, they do not list the addresses of some of these entities, but there may be a photograph of the exterior of the dwelling.
So,
I happen to get turned on to that by a complaint from a neighbor who had noticed a variety of different people
Right.
renting out the
Do
dwelling.
we have a prohibition on being Airbnb?
Not permitted.
It's not
it,
permitted.
it specifically
You can
says it's
have-
not permitted?
That's correct, yes.
Did we pass that, or is that just?
No, our regulations are prohibitive in nature if it's not a listed use. The only thing you can do in a residential district, you can let rooms, but you have to, on a long-term basis, but you have to share a kitchen. So you can't rent to various entities.
All right, but
A
that,
week
but,
at a
but
time.
that type of use is not specifically prohibited. You're saying it's prohibited because it's not permitted.
Yeah,
Should we,
Maybe we should amend the
I'm
regulation.
all over that too. I think we
Yeah.
should ask Vinnie that question.
okay.
We might
Go ahead.
consider doing
I
that.
kinda asked them that previously when the first one came up, but.
Right.
it-
I'd rather be
it-
proactive
with
rather
your
than,
concern, it won't hurt to ask
I
again.
imagine, I mean, that's why I ask if you've seen some of these before.
Yeah, I've seen about 4 of them.
You're probably gonna see more,
Yep.
I would think. Do you agree that it would make
It's
sense?
a concern.
Yeah,
And, it could easily get out of control.
yeah. What's,
I don't want it to be challenged because we
not
don't say it.
stated.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
And
No, I think you're right, as a matter of zoning law, if it's not permitted,
it's
it's
prohibited.
prohibited.
We may wanna be even clearer.
Well, especially since it seems to be more, it's gonna,
More prevalent.
yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too.
Let's put that on our radar too, Paul. Was there anything else, the other stuff?
No, the only
seemed
other
pretty-
thing,
Pretty ordinary, or,
Yes.
not ordinary, but, the usual sort of stuff.
yeah,
Looks like you spent a lot of time on Ridge Road.
well, there's a few issues there that, and talked with the town attorney on more than a number of times, so. One other thing that did come up, is that, John Cifarelli, the finance director, asked me to, take a look at our fee schedule. I know he's also asked Jack with regard to wetlands, to make sure that they reflect the costs that we're incurring for various applications.
Okay,
Probably the biggest increase has been the cost of legal notices has just skyrocketed. It's just unbelievable.
This is the one that we have to print in the paper?
Yes.
So are there any entities in Connecticut that don't print in the paper?
No, they're all required to do that. There's been there's been some legislation that's been proposed that says municipalities can use the social medium to get the notice out there or put it on their website or whatever, but it's failed.
Still gotta go through the
failed.
print medium.
I think we're caught between generations.
We are.
Yeah.
Of people that just read the paper
Paper
and people that just use social media. So
Give
it's
it a little more time.
difficult
Yeah.
time,
Within a couple of years,
but
I'm
it's
sure.
coming.
all right.
And it's the only source of income for newspapers. It really is. I mean, I know they do have circulars, but
Okay. Anything else, Paul?
no, that's all I have. I know, the assisted living, independent living has started, and I think Jack's gonna handle that. So he's
Okay.
been up there.
How many units?
It's 160.
There's the different types, right?
Yes.
The independent living and then right.
Right.
Independent living, assisted living, and
memory care.
I think it's 162, I'm not sure.
And, okay.
Indian River Road. Yeah, with that kind of steep driveway.
All right, anything else?
So, yeah.
All right, next item on the agenda, release of Catholic Cemeteries, St. Peter's, bond. Apparently, we're holding a $166,000 performance bond and a $5,000 cash bond for enlargement of the cemetery.
Yeah, the cemetery originally was located, still is located in Derby, and they expanded along the river on Derby Milford Road. It was built all according to plan. The biggest condition that the commission wanted to see there was that the gate continually be closed, except when there is a service in that part of the cemetery to let people out that way.
Okay.
So it's not supposed to be open.
So refresh my memory, what was the work that was done?
Well, it was all vacant land.
Yeah,
The cemetery bought it. There are presently graves being installed there.
yeah,
And there is an egress out of there with a gated, with a kind of nice gate.
okay, so those were the improvements,
Those are the improvements.
all right. And they've been completed,
They've all been completed.
and any sign off that we need has been obtained?
Not really, because no one else was involved besides me.
Okay, no
No
building? or-
sanitation, no building inspector, there were no retaining walls,
All right. So you're all set to release that?
yes.
All right, you need a motion, I
I need a
assume.
motion, yes.
I'll move to approve that we release that bond.
I will second the motion.
All right, we have a motion to approve, release of the bond. It's been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, next item on our agenda is the site plan application for 25 Boston Post Road. This is the Target store. The proposal is to provide a drive-up service to allow customers to place an online order, receive a notification when items are available, and to park in a designated drive-up location for the delivery of goods. The applicant is here? No, this is not a public hearing. Yeah, yep.
I would have had to have the.
Please, come to the podium. If you would, just introduce yourself.
Right here?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm Ben Diskin, I'm with, Kimley Horn, White Plains office, working on behalf of Target in their drive-up program
okay.
throughout the country.
Maybe you could just walk us through the application.
So basically what Target is, proposing to do, as they've been doing, across the country, is, implement the drive-up program, which basically consists of restriping 6, existing stalls into 4 drive-up stalls with a solar-powered internally illuminated beacon in the center to allow customers to navigate to it for order pickup directly at the vehicle.
Okay.
It leaves them with enough, Paulie, it leaves them with enough parking.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're way in excess.
Way in excess.
Maybe you can explain how it works?
Yeah, so basically what happens is customers who, it's more catered to online shoppers, so, and those who want to get their deliveries not in the mail, but they want to grab them now. So basically they order online, they have the app notifies them when it's ready to be picked up, they go to the store, they navigate to these spots, and then they pull in, and as soon as they come in this fence of the Target Wi-Fi, it notifies inside Target, they come out and they scan the barcode and deliver the products. So, yeah, it's for the online shopping predominantly, but it tends to take existing customers and just convert them, so it's not we haven't seen in the over 1,800 locations that it's been increasing traffic at all. It's more just changing the customer patterns.
What's your first name, I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm Ben, sorry.
Ben, now you said it. Any incidents of any kind of, accidents or any,
No, I mean, in fact,
Increase?
no accidents, not even traffic increases there of note that we've seen across the country. I think that given that the program is new, it's probably why people are slowly going to adapt, and then we'll figure out things that happen, but as of now, it's a very, very smooth program.
okay.
Ben, have you had any issues with, I'm just looking at the detail here,
Correct.
and the way the traffic would move through the pickup area. With respect to this one,
Yeah.
if there's a car parked here, there's access to this first stall over here, right?
Well, that's why we would have these arrows to kind of direct people to go to the first spot, so they would always pull through to the end in case there is multiple vehicles getting deliveries, but
So in other words, if this, well, okay, so you would always just pull up.
Correct.
And leave the rear spot available.
Yeah, yeah, so that's what the arrows are indicating that, and I mean, you can't really enforce cars, but that's hopefully the intent of the
Yeah.
striping pattern.
I guess this is, I was thinking of the Costco, the gas line at Costco.
Yeah,
Right.
it's very busy.
Well, I know, but I mean, you know, people don't wait. The car finishes up front, and the guy is gassing up in spot number 2.
Right.
But people won't wait for that guy to
No.
get, so 2 cars can go up together.
Right.
They'll go around, which to me probably creates some safety issues.
I don't wanna have a couple of cars there just in case they.
Right, but I guess this is different in that, if a car is in this number 2 position here, as soon as if there's a car ahead of it, as soon as this car pulls out, this car would move up.
Right, yeah, that's the
Is that
intent, and.
the intent?
Yeah, and there's potentially four pickups at any one time, and the pickup, what we've studied is that it's about 2 minutes from when they arrive in the spot to when they leave the spot,
Right,
so we don't usually have many backups.
so you
with
wouldn't
that.
expect any line, any queue?
Yeah, no queuing, we haven't seen any queuing, again, it's a newer service, so that's maybe part of the reason, but as of now, it's been very smooth with that.
You were nice enough to send some pictures, but these pictures have the spots from the Ansonia
Paul.
space.
Those are Paul's pictures.
Oh, so from Paul?
Yeah, that's the Ansonia target.
I like these are side by side, so it doesn't create any of the issues, right? In other words, this is one that's a local, not.
Yeah.
These are the spaces right here?
No, so this is.
Oh, this is it over here?
Yeah,
I
so that's
gotcha.
the 1 and the 2, and they just pull through, and then this is where the sign is located to indicate
I
where it is, and this
understand.
is where the employee would come out and go and give the delivery in this striped off area.
So that, you're saying that within a couple of minutes, number 2, what Ozzy's concern was, this guy only has to wait behind, let's say he gets serviced first.
Correct.
Just
like
a couple of
2
minutes.
Yeah, maximum 2 minutes.
I don't know. We got a pretty, the population doesn't wait very long. 2 minutes is just sitting there. But
They got cell phones.
they can't back, I assume they can't, right? They can't back up.
I mean, they could back up, but there's no, it's like a standard spot, it's just the striping configuration kind of lends itself to the cars pulling through.
Oh, yeah, no question.
You
All
know,
right.
it may be something that's very busy in the future, I think, as people get used to it.
Mhm.
But I was at that site about 10 times, I didn't see one car in there over the Christmas, over the Christmas shopping.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, as of now, it's 24, like, per day, so
Yeah,
it's
that's what we
it's
have.
like I said, it's pretty new, and I've noticed myself, a lot of the ads are starting to roll out with, like, various channels, but, again, it's pretty new, so they're trying to get the word out.
Paul, to answer your question on parking, they have 580 existing, 468 required.
Plenty.
So they're proposing, they're gonna lose 2 spaces to accomplish this.
And department heads are all okay with this, so.
And everybody signed
Police,
up.
safety commission reviewed.
The only one that really, the fire marshal didn't have an issue with it, so it affected him the most, so.
And it's just one light stanchion.
Yeah, yeah, it's internally illuminated, so it's like all solar power,
All right.
so it doesn't connect in with anything existing either.
I didn't pick up, there were like 3 shown on the second drawing. Was it just?
Oh, that was 3 different views
just
of
a-
it, yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
all
the
it was,
one.
but it's just one a light stanchion there.
Correct.
All right. And you indicate in your application, the average drive-up visits is 24 trips per day,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
No safety concerns with the employee coming out to do the delivery, no
No,
vehicular
so,
safety issues?
yeah, well, that's why they place them very close to the store, so and it's usually very traversed by normal pedestrians anyway, so the vehicles that are there tend to be very aware of that as
Already,
people are
yep.
walking.
Targets.
All right. I think your application covers it pretty well, what the details are on it. You know, it's I think it's a logical extension of a permitted use. I mean, it's accessory uses customary with and incidental to any of the aforesaid permitted uses, referring to retail. So, I mean, I view it that way. It seems like a reasonable ancillary use to that type of use. I don't know, I didn't have any problems with it. It seems straightforward to me. Any questions? All right, I think we're all set, thank you.
Great. So, what are the next steps for us?
You sit down and
Yeah,
look
we're gonna vote.
what happened.
Things are gonna happen very quickly.
We're efficient if nothing else.
Right. I didn't see any problems with it. I mean, Paul, you had no issue, nothing that we need to be concerned about.
And I suppose in the future, if it were to become very, very busy, we could revisit it, but,
Well, I guess if it became that busy, they'd be looking for more.
right.
And then that's when we would look at it again, probably. Okay. So then, is somebody prepared to make a motion to approve the site plan application?
I'll move that we approve the site plan application for the property known as 25 Boston Post Road for the Target property. The proposal is to provide a drive-up service to allow customers to place an online order, receive notification when the items are available, and to park in the designated drive-up locations.
All right, we have a motion to approve the application. Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Congratulations, thank you.
So, are you just gonna send,
We'll send an approval letter out,
Okay, perfect.
okay?
Thank you.
And just, part of it is you contact the building inspector, see what you need for a permit for that stanchion.
Gotcha, thank you.
Okay.
All right. All right, the final, it's past 7:30, so we can start our public hearings now.
Are we, yeah, are we taking the position from now on that we don't have to wait till 7:30? I mean, I know tonight we are, but,
I didn't have a chance to ask Vinnie about that yet.
okay.
but
In my
they're-
mind, as long as you don't begin before 7:30.
Well, that was the issue, though. Sometimes we're
We
done way
take a
before.
recess, yeah.
Right. And the question is, can we just start when
That
we're
might,
done?
that might be an issue.
That I thought was a problem.
I mean,
Yeah, it's-
It's all right.
I'll talk to Vinnie about it tomorrow, though.
right. I mean, if we start the meeting at
Hopefully.
7 and don't say the public hearing portion is at 7:30.
Oh, yeah, well, we could,
You can advertise at 7, but
right, yeah. I wouldn't, right, I wouldn't want the notice to say 7:30,
And we
and then we
start
start
earlier.
at 7:15. Somebody
Absolutely.
shows up 10 minutes,
Yeah, no, but if we start at 7 and we just happen to take the.
yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta be here at 7 if you wanna,
right, that's when
Yeah.
it starts.
okay. Well, did we discuss that already? Were we gonna?
Yeah.
yes, I didn't do it in this case. I
All
was
right.
just gonna check with, I had.
Let's,
Had to
yeah,
check it, yeah.
this says 7:30, but for future reference,
Okay.
let's make it 7 o'clock. on the-
7 o'clock? Okay.
On the notice of the public hearings.
Only because there's a number of times when we do our hearing was done by 7:10.
And we're sitting here for 10,
Looking at
15
each
minutes,
other,
right?
which,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah,
on
okay.
my end is fine looking at her, but she's gotta look at me.
Do you want to begin the public
I
hearing
have no
by
problem.
reading the legal notice, please? Do you have it?
Yes. So, to appear one time on Tuesday, December 24th, 2019, and one time on Tuesday, December 31st, 2019, the Orange TPZC. Notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that on Tuesday, January 7, 2020, at 7:30 PM at the Orange Town Hall, 617 Orange Center Road, the Orange Town Plan and Zoning Commission will conduct a public hearing on the following: the special permit application for the conversion of a single-family dwelling to accommodate an elderly apartment for the property known as 761 Dennis Drive, submitted by the property owner Donald McCollum to create and construct an elderly apartment. Copy of this notice has been filed with the Orange Town Clerk. Additional information is on file in the Orange Zoning Department, dated in Orange, Connecticut, this 20th day of December, 2019.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Is the applicant present? Would you please approach the podium? If you would, just introduce yourself.
Good evening, my name is Donald McCollum. I live at 761 Dennis Drive here in Orange.
Okay. And maybe you could just take us through the application.
Yes, sir.
quick,
So,
briefly?
so we're looking, we have a split level house at 761 Dennis Drive, and we're looking to add an in-law setup for my elderly mother-in-law who has MS. The in-law apartment is going to be 860 square feet. And along with that in-law apartment, we're also adding a bedroom for my growing family. We recently had another daughter, so we need another bedroom. So we are adding a bedroom to our existing structure, along with a master walk-in closet. But the in-law portion of it is only 800, of the addition, is only 860 square feet.
Well, it's above the garage, right?
Yes, sir.
And when I came out with
I
800.
have the plans if you'd like to see.
I think we have, them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have the floor.
Okay. No, I mean, I didn't see anywhere where it, in the application or on the drawings where it gave the square footage of the addition, the in-law, the elderly addition. But I think, you know, just measuring it out, it looked to be like a 29 by 30, 870, 860 square feet.
Yes, sir, so the walk-in is, it looks like, Bill, can you help me out with your writing here, is it 5, is it 5 by 9? What do you? Yes, sorry, sir.
Oh.
This is Bill Perfetto, he's the person.
Hey, Bill.
that's-
All right, how are you?
And for the record, 70 is not elderly,
Bill Perfetto.
middle-aged.
The bedroom is 232, and walk-in closet's about 47 and a half. So that brings us to about 860 and a half square feet for the whole,
Yeah.
for the in-law setup.
Okay. And it's connected to, it's got a, what does it say? Both dwelling units shall be attached by a common wall, floor, or ceiling. That's the case, right? It's connected to the garage.
Correct. Yeah, it's
Like,
above the garage.
yeah.
And it comes out off of the left side of the house, which I believe.
I mean, as opposed to a breezeway, you know, it's not connected to the house by a breezeway or anything. It's
No,
actually,
it's actually right above the garage.
right.
So you're
All right.
losing the garage effectively, or is it? no,
It's
No,
over it.
Above the
Yeah.
garage.
So as we go down our hallway, we can access all our bedrooms, and then at the end of the hallway, we can access the in-law from all inside the house.
And ingress and egress to the apartment is through the backyard?
Correct.
Right.
You have access to the backyard, as you can see on the plans, with a walkway coming back around to the front of the house.
Right.
And obviously, the other egress is to the inside of the house.
And nothing's changing with respect to existing doors, existing
That
access
face the road,
that face the road,
No,
right?
the house will look the same.
the house.
It says all means of ingress and egress from the front of the structure must be limited to existing doorways, and that's the case.
Exactly.
sir.
Okay. All right.
All the sign-offs are,
Yes.
yeah,
Well, they're on the application.
application.
What is I mentioned the number 70 years. What do we have for an in-law? Do we have any restrictions on that?
It's 50.
55.
55? So that, I just want you to understand that in the future, okay, you won't be able to rent this or use this for anybody less than 55.
Yes, sir, we won't,
I didn't think
we don't
so.
want to use it as rental property.
There is
at all.
there is a but, though,
Yeah,
and that is if the owner of the property is 55, then they can rent to anyone.
Right.
interesting. Okay.
So,
Stand corrected.
yeah, either the owner,
Or the renter.
somebody's got to be over 55.
Seems like an easy get.
There's a lot of other requirements, all of which seem to have been met here, but, I don't know if you had a chance to look at 383-140, but it lays it out in, you know, lays out all the details, all the requirements in great detail. And, so for example, you know, the dwelling units have to be attached by a common wall, floor, or ceiling, not by a breezeway or a porch. The addition has to be contained within one building. Can't be like a separate building. No changes to the existing doorways on the front of the house. It has to be on a lot of at least 30,000 square feet, and this is almost 45,000 square feet. Dwelling in question shall be owner occupied during the duration of the special permit. And that's covered by a certification that's attached to the application. That the owner has signed indicating that he's, that he occupies the property. And then it says at least one dwelling unit shall be occupied by a person 55 years of age or older. And again, that's covered by the certification that the owner signed. And then every year in January, at the end of January, that certificate has to recertify on those facts. You're aware of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I guess you just come into the zoning department?
It's varied the way we've done it.
All right. But that needs to be accomplished every year. And then the floor area, it says each dwelling unit created shall contain not more than 900 square feet of floor area. It looks like we have about 860, 870. So that condition is met. And, yeah, we already covered the certificate. I think there was one thing about the assessor. The assessor has to indicate that it's on,
Has to, with regard to the date that it's been on that it's been assessed, there's a date there.
yeah, I'm looking for that. Yeah, units shall have been on the assessor's list as of October 1, 2008.
And the reason that condition is there is so, there was concern that developers may come in and just construct two-family homes. And that wasn't the purpose of the regulation. We wanted to permit the conversion for existing residents here, rather than, the development of two-family homes. At some point, we may want to increase that date,
Right.
bring it up in the future.
And we do, part of the application, we do have the assessor sign off on that, right?
Yes.
I think I saw that.
Yes, signed off.
All right, so, all right, is there anything else you wanted to add, or
No, sir. Not if it's.
any further questions?
Not for me.
Any questions from the public? All right. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, do you think that we need other information to decide this application, or do we have everything we need?
No, I think we have everything that
All
is
right.
fine from my standpoint.
Judy?
We can close the public hearing.
All right, so will you make that motion?
Certainly, I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to close the public hearing. It's been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is really pretty straightforward. And, you know, the 383-140 lays out all the, you know, requirements, and as far as I can see, they've all been met. We have the sign-offs from
The departments, yes.
the department heads that we require.
It's exactly what it was intended to do, which is,
Yeah.
an elderly apartment for a family member who's over
Right.
55.
Yeah, and that, you know, that, and again, that's consistent with our plan of conservation and development, offering, you know, housing options for the elderly. What else? I think that about covers it.
Yeah.
Right, Paul, am I missing anything?
No?
Okay. All right, then, if someone's prepared to make a motion to approve,
I'll make a motion that we approve the special permit application for the conversion of a single-family dwelling to accommodate an elderly apartment for property known as 761 Dennis Drive.
all right, we have a motion.
I'm sorry, second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, the application is approved. Thank you. All right, I guess that wraps up our agenda.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Motion to adjourn, it's been seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Meeting's over at 7:45.